With their origins dating back to the time of the First Crusade, the Knights Templar have remained a prominent religious and social order. Their modern incarnation, the Freemasons, have abandoned their militant origins. Instead, they seek fraternal bonds and to improve the communities in which they live through scholarships, drug abuse rehabilitation, and donations of funds to worthy causes. However, this upstanding organization of men were dealt a deadly blow nearly 100 years ago in the city of Durand, Michigan. The date, June the 5th, 1923, the second and last day of the annual conclave of the Grand Commandery of the Knights Templar of Michigan, which was being held in Flint. As part of the festivities, the Delamai Commandery No. 5 of Grand Rapids chartered a train for knighthood members on the Grand Trunk and Western Railroad from Grand Rapids to Flint. Not only this, but the train was to be entirely staffed and run by members of the knighthood. The train left Grand Rapids at 9:30 a.m. On board were Frank Purcell, engineer, and Joseph Parker, fireman. Both men members of Corona Commandery No. 21 in Durand. Additionally, an A.J. Fanning, a non-knighthood passenger, began his journey in Grand Rapids. The train then made stops in Iona County, picking up John Erickson and Herbert D. Waldron, both members of the Iona Commandery No. 11. Eventually, the train and passengers arrived in the railroad hub city of Durand, Michigan. Following this, the train continued onward out of Durand. Unfortunately, it would never make it out. 1 mile outside of Durand, the train came upon a split track at Clark's Crossing. The locomotive, number 5030, left the rails and turned over, becoming grounded. The first two passenger cars additionally derailed, with the second car ramming into the first. When the dust settled, 32 passengers were injured. 4 pieces of rolling stock were overturned, and 5 were dead. Engineer Frank Purcell, fireman Joseph Parker, and passengers John Erickson, Herbert D. Waldron, and A.J. Fanning would all unfortunately lose their lives that day. Following the accident, the United States Bureau of Safety of the Interstate Commerce Commission concluded that a combination of poor track conditions and increased speed had led to the unfortunate event. It was found that the track ballast had essentially disintegrated after 25 years of service without replacement. Additionally, the train was found to have been running at an increased speed of 50 miles an hour due to the engineer wanting to get back on schedule as the train was running late. Rather peculiarly, the wreck seemed almost as charted as the train itself, as one of the wrecked cars formed a nearly perfect Roman cross with the track beneath, a rather gruesome and ironic bow on such a devastating and unwanted gift. After the incident, locomotive number 5030 was salvaged and was soon restored back to operation, serving the Grand Trunk Western until 1957. In the same year, the Grand Trunk donated the locomotive to the city of Jackson, Michigan, where it was put on display in North Lawn Park just off of Lansing Avenue, forgotten and mostly unseen, a neglected, rotting corpse and the last survivor of a deadly tragedy. However, resurrection seems to be on the horizon for 5030, with the Colebrookdale Railroad of Boyertown, Pennsylvania, purchasing the locomotive from the city of Jackson in 2021 for roughly $50,000. They plan on restoring the engine to operation and want to use it on tourist excursions. While 5030 is leaving the state which made it infamous, its legacy will live on in Durand, where a memorial to those killed is placed alongside a historical marker and a similar locomotive, Grand Trunk Western 5632, a permanent reminder that even the worst of tragedies can happen to those with the best intentions.